Hey, welcome to Tim's Vinyl Confessions. This is my first episode of 2017. I know it's been a while since I posted a new episode. Haven't really had a lot to talk about, but this morning I've got three different things to talk about, kind of unrelated. The only thing they have in common is that they're three new things for me. One I'm really excited about, so I'm saving that one till the end. But all of them are worthy additions to my collection. There's no vinyl this time around. It's a couple CDs. Well, a CD set, DVD, and a CD. So we'll start off with something that I got for Christmas last year, something that hasn't been out for too awful long. This is Queen on Air, a BBC recording. And this is a collection of Queen's appearances at the BBC studios, which was sort of a rite of passage for bands coming through that era, especially British bands. This, of course, is on Hollywood Records. And there are several configurations of Queen on Air. I just got the standard edition. The vinyl edition is very expensive. There are sessions that contain talking in between the songs. That really doesn't matter too much to me. If I get a chance to hear it, it'll be cool. There are 6 different sessions on here, so there's 3 sessions on each of these discs. This is a 2 CD set. And I'll hold the song titles there up. Hopefully you can read those. I'll try to steady these. If you're a big Queen fan, you probably already know this, but of the 6 sessions here, Session 1 and Session 3 already came out as Queen at the Beeb, or at the BBC, which has been released previously. This is all 6 times that Queen have had sessions at the BBC, or at least 6 of them. Most of them are between 73 and 74, so it's material from the first 3 albums. The one thing that's a little bit different is Session 6, which is recorded in October of 1977, so we're talking about News of the World stuff here. And if you know Queen, you know that when they would open their shows, oftentimes they would do a fast rendition of We Will Rock You that was more of a song, more of a structured song. And so you've actually kind of got a studio version of that on here, on the last session on disc 2, which that's kind of some added value there. This is what the discs themselves look like. They're made to look like reels. And the booklet that comes with it. That's obviously a 77 era picture of the band. It goes through each one of the sessions. There's some production notes there. There are a lot of repeated songs on here. I don't know if these are the only songs they did. There is a lot of repetition. It would have been better if they could have found some different songs, but I'm guessing there weren't any. Queen seems to be going through the archives now pretty steady since Live at the Rainbow and then Night at the Odeon, so I hope they continue this trend and put out stuff that we've never heard before. Would love to hear studio outtakes that, have never been released. And there are also Queen B-sides that have never been put on one album unless it's part of a huge box set. So, there's more out there for Queen fans, which is kind of exciting. The next thing I want to show you is another thing I got for Christmas. It's a documentary that's been out for a while. This is Rush, Time Stands Still. Now, the story of a band, its fans, and their 40-year relationship. Of course, I'm a huge Rush fan, have been for a long time. In 2010, Banger Productions, Sam Dunn, did, I think, the definitive Rush documentary, Beyond the Lighted Stage. It's their history. And if anybody was curious about getting into Rush and saying, I've heard some of their music, I think, I like them, what's this band all about, I would sit them down and watch Beyond the Lighted Stage. This, a new Rush fan would be, maybe a little perplexed by this. It's like, why are these people so passionate about this band? Why is this band so passionate about, their music, their fans? This is basically what this is about. It's very, sad's not the right word, poignant maybe. It's a band coming to terms with the fact that, they're not young anymore, and Neil Peart especially has made it quite clear he doesn't want to tour anymore. He's kind of done. Alex, I think, is still wanting to do it, although he's got some arthritis issues. Geddy Lee is the one that really wants to keep going, and you can tell in the interviews he's really struggling to come to terms with this. So there's no definitive, at no point does anyone say we are done as a band. And I think that's one of the cool things about Rush. They would never come out, I don't think, and do a farewell tour, because as we all know, farewell tours rarely are. And as a matter of fact, their 40th anniversary tour, the R40 tour, which I've talked about the CD and DVD collection in an earlier episode, almost didn't happen. Neil did not want to do it, but it was majority ruled, and so the tour happened. This very no-frills packaging to the set, at least the standard edition I have, but that's all right. There's some brief narration in it by Paul Rudd. The actor, of course, is a big Rush fan. No surprises there. There's one fan that's got a collection that would put mine to shame, so it's kind of cool talking. That talks to a lot of the RushCon people. One of the gals that started RushCon, the Rush Fan Convention, ended up working for the Obama administration. So it talks about how Rush fans come from all walks of life. And like I said, it's not the happiest. There's some cool old footage. It's not the happiest of watches because there is a finality to it, but it is refreshing to see a band, saying, we're old, and we're not going to be able to do this. But let's remember what we did do. Now, one of the curious things about this DVD is the extras. They're all outtakes. Well, no, not outtakes. It's concert footage from 1990 from the Presto tour. It seems very random to me. Rush, I've always liked when they, whatever it is they do, there's a sense to it. There's a sense of like, okay, a real Rush fan will appreciate these little touches here. But it's a filmed footage from the Presto tour. It's very raw. It almost looks as if, this is my guess, I've never read anything about this, it almost looks like they were planning on putting out a live video if the Presto album had performed. Remember, Presto was the first album that Rush did for Atlantic Records. It was a big change. So maybe Atlantic Records in the States was really pushing for this, hey, we'll put a home video out after this album's made its run. And it did okay. It was a gold album, went top 20, but it wasn't a huge selling album, and it wasn't out of the gates, Atlantic Records sort of recouping their investment in this band. So I'm thinking that they had intentions of putting out a live video, but they didn't end up seeing it through. So the footage is unfinished. It's good to have. It's cool to have. There's songs like Scars and Superconductor that I've never heard them do live before. I could sit on YouTube and watch footage all day, but I just don't. So for that, it's cool to have. It's an interesting snapshot on their career, but it just seems so random for it to be placed here. So I'm not sure what that's about. Worthy addition to the Rush catalog. Again, if you're not really a diehard fan, I can't see you getting much out of this. But if you are a diehard fan, you'll sit there a lot and go like, yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, and if you're a Kiss fan, the story about the bag, Ace Frehley, it's funny stuff. Which brings me to the next thing. This is sort of just a January 2017 update. Earlier last year, one of my favorite bands, Honeymoon Suite, announced a Pledge Music campaign for some new music, an EP, which they were calling Hands Up. Of course, I pledged for it. There were, like any Pledge music or Kickstarter campaign, there were several configurations of this that you could get. They did actually have a vinyl. There was a bit of sticker shock on the price. I didn't go for it. Kind of wish that I had it now because it's not available anymore. It would have been nice to have some new Honeymoon Suite vinyl. But so I pledged for the CD, which just came. And so they released it digitally to all the pledgers last year, so I burned a CD of it and been listening to it quite a lot, and I really, really like it. But I'll go and, now that I've got the CD to talk about, I'll talk about it. It's called Hands Up. There's the cover. There are 7 new songs on this, and songs 8 and 9 are live versions of Burning in Love, New Girl Now. Company listed on this is Powertrain Records, which I've never heard of before. Picture of the band. What I like about this too is that Gary and Dave play on this. They didn't play on Clifton Hill. It was still a good album, but this is the lineup of the band as it is, and these are the players on this album. That's what the disc itself looks like. It's just the album art. And we'll look at the booklet. So, because listening to the songs is obviously the most important thing, but I wanted to know more about the songs, like who wrote them, wanted to know more. The booklet signed. That was part of the pledge. So thanks, guys. Signing the CD there. I wasn't a VIP pledger. Those are the people that paid for the upper packages. and they got their names in the credits, which is very cool. I think I know some of these people on here from being on Facebook, and I think I've got at least one. Where are you, Stacy? Yeah, I've got at least one follower here. It's got a name on here. This is very, very cool. A lot of these songs, as a matter of fact, all of them except for a couple of the new songs were co-written with Sean Kelly. I mean, Sean Kelly's like the go-to songwriter guy for Canadian classic rock. He's worked a lot with Helix too. And pictures of the group on stage. Had the pleasure of seeing HMS with Helix last July. Great show, fun show. Hope they come through again. The lyrics, they put the lyrics up to all the songs, including the live versions. Burning in Love, A New Girl Now, were recorded in 2015 at the Andy Kim Christmas Show. The Canadian singer Andy Kim does a Christmas benefit show every year. A lot of people perform there, and HMS performed there that one particular year. So we'll go over the songs here on this. Hands Up, title song. Melodic track. They have such a singular sound. It's almost like they can't help but sound like Honeymoon Suite. Except for Lemon Tongue. When they were writing the Lemon Tongue Dreamland stuff, it really seemed like they were making a concentrated effort to not sound like themselves. I love this guitar keyboard mix. I mean, Johnny D doesn't sound like anybody else, so you just know it's HMS as soon as you hear it. Like the Stars is a sort of a more upbeat melodic song. The first song on here that I was like, okay, this is classic Honeymoon Suite. Never Was a Forever. Classic sounding mid-tempo song. Well, mid-tempo makes it sound more of a ballad. It's not. It's just an upbeat Honeymoon Suite song. Market Square is a very cool song. It features vocals from Leah Marlene, who is Derek Green's daughter. She trades off vocals with Johnny at the end. One Step Closer is a really catchy, cool song, fun song. Hey Deanna is a song that Derry posted a long time ago. His wife's name's Deanna. I'm assuming he wrote it about her. And him singing it. This is 4 or 5 years ago. I remember thinking, boy, that would make a good Honeymoon Suite song. So I'm really glad they recorded it. And maybe my favorite song on here is the 7th song called 1986. Now it's not, hey, the big prize was in the charts, and it's not about that, but it is a nostalgic type of song. They do reference the Cars, Candy-O in here. So it's a nostalgic look back. It's very, very classic Honeymoon Suite. Just strong melodic bass, what they do best. Now, I have no criticism of this per se, but they did have a song called Tomorrow Never Comes that they put out kind of by itself digitally, and as of right now, I still don't buy stuff digitally. I want to have the physical copy of the album. It would have been nice if they just stuck that on the end here, but that's a minor thing. Maybe they're saving it for a new compilation or a new studio album. But for the first new Honeymoon Suite release in 8 years, this is not a full album, but everything on here is really good. So I'd recommend it. I'm sure, you can get it now through more conventional means. Might be able to still get it through Pledge Music, but you might not be able to get the signed packages anymore. So that's new from Honeymoon Suite. So Honeymoon Suite, Rush, and Queen, some additions to my collection there. I'm working on some things, waiting for a couple things to arrive before I do some sort of episode talking about that. I'm not really sure yet how I'm going to approach that, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. Of course, I was just talking with my daughter this morning about Record Store Day. End of February, her and I are going to Portland to see one of her favorite bands, Panic at the Disco. I'm sure we'll have some sort of concert report from there too. So there'll be more episodes this year. I'm waiting to get inspired. I'd rather put out something that I thought was worth talking about. But thanks to everybody for continuing to watch. I still get comments. I had someone comment on my Kiss cassette video, which is almost 2 years old. It's 2 years old now. Yeah, it's 2 years old. Saying you probably won't see this because this episode's 2 years old. I see the comments. I try to like and at least like, and if I can, reply to each one of them. I really appreciate that people are discovering the videos long after the fact. So yeah, continue. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram as Tim's Vinyl Confessions. And hey, let's have a great 2017. Thanks for watching.